What's up, Internet? Kevin here with Tech for Lunch and Dinner, bringing you my review of Alice Madness Returns for the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Madness Returns takes place shortly after the original Alice, with Alice's mind still shattered due to massive trauma from the death of her family. It's easy enough to catch up on what's happened in the plot so far, and for those of you who haven't played the original game, all new copies of Madness Returns includes a code to download the original American McGee's Alice, allowing you to experience the full story. The plot itself jumps between moments of darkness and complete insanity, with the story switching between Alice in the real world and her delusional perception of Wonderland. These quick jumps in plot can sometimes be a bit confusing, however this confusion seems intentional, forcing players to feel just as turned around and confused as Alice is, with a rare moment of clarity that ties several events together. One of the game's strongest points is its depiction of the setting. While the graphics themselves aren't top-notch or have incredible textures, the actual overall design of worlds and their concepts are fantastic, paired with a good soundtrack that helps to fit the mood of each world Alice traverses through, and the game does an excellent job of conveying the mixed feelings of both wonder and horror that Alice's twisted Wonderland contains. At its core, Madness Returns is a platforming adventure, making use of several of the conventional tools of the genre, such as launch pads, multiple jumps, shifting platforms, and several hidden collectibles to search for. The game adds a bit of its own flavor by also giving Alice the ability to shrink, which not only allows her to fit into narrow passageways, but also gives her the ability to see things she couldn't normally, such as hidden passages, invisible platforms, and even drawings on the walls to give little hints. While not presenting the most original platforming experience, Madness Returns executes the standards well, and combined with the game's art design, it still leads to a very enjoyable experience. Combat in Madness Returns is fast-paced and a lot of fun. Alice is able to make use of a number of, let's say, interesting weapons in order to adapt to a number of different combat situations. In melee, she can use a Vorpal Blade, a fast-attacking knife, and the Hobby Horse, which acts as a giant hammer that shatters enemies' defenses. At long range, she has the Pepper Grinder, which acts like a rapid-fire gun, and the Teapot Cannon, which is exactly what it sounds like. Alice is able to upgrade these four main weapons by collecting teeth dropped by enemies in boxes, and alongside them she can also make use of an umbrella that acts as a shield, which can also reflect projectiles, and a rabbit bomb, which can distract enemies and can also be used to hold down switches during platforming segments. In addition to these two core parts of the game, Alice also employs a number of different mini-games throughout your adventure, some of which are somewhat questionable. Some of these games are even able to be skipped, such as sliding puzzles and musical games, which just feel out of place when you're doing them. Other mini-games include such staples as a side-scrolling shooter, a rolling ball game with cannons and speed-ups, and a 2D platformer that takes place in an ancient scroll. Most of these segments honestly aren't as fun as the rest of the game, and personally I feel as though most of them detracted from the overall experience, with one notable exception, which is actually near the end of the game when you get to become a giant Alice and just storm a whole keep. The game also houses a number of different collectible items for players to search for during gameplay, including bottles that unlock different pieces of art, memories that give brief single-sentence flashbacks of Alice's life, and rose paint, which can be collected by completing different challenges that grant a larger health bar. While they don't directly affect your gaming experience, the collectibles in and of themselves are fun to search out, and are never too hard to find as long as the players dedicate a little time to searching. Overall, Alice Madness Returns is a very enjoyable platformer, which while not being the most original in terms of gameplay, brings an excellent presentation that makes it well worth playing. A few mini-game hiccups aside, and the game is very fun throughout, even when being a little repetitive near the end. Coupled with a great combat system that rewards varied use of different weapons, and it's a great overall experience for any fan of platforming games. I'd recommend Alice to any platforming fan with a love of interesting and beautiful art design, even if the graphics themselves aren't incredible. That's our review of Alice Madness Returns. I'm Kevin for TLD, thanks for watching.